Absolutely all precautions are being taken here this morning. No chances for this auction here today with the COVID-19 crisis. As you can see, that the hand sanitizer has been out, so people who are arriving to view this property can well and truly get a grip of the hygiene situation at the moment. 10 o'clock, this property has been opened for inspection and will go under the hammer at 10:30 this morning. The crowds are starting to gather, but to talk a little bit more about this beautiful property we have down here in Canterbury, we do have Nicholas Fransman, who is the estate agent. We'll give you one of those ones in these time. Nicholas, talk us through the property market at the moment. How are buyers and sellers really feeling about this at the moment?
I guess given these uncertain times, buyers and sellers sort of aren't sure what to feel. They're taking it on a day-by-day basis. I think in the last sort of 24 to 48 hours, we've seen a lot more questions. We've seen a lot more people requesting private inspections, and we're trying to adapt to make sure that we can do everything we can to ensure a satisfactory result.
How have you adapted in the COVID-19 situation? Obviously, social distancing is massive. What have you done so people can keep their distance at, open for inspections and auctions?
It's all new to us, so we're doing things, adapting as we progress. It's limiting the amount of people through a home at any one particular time, keeping distance as we are in this instance, offering private inspections. There's talk of a few other things that will happen in the days to come as well.
We have seen some real estate agents even cancel their auctions and go towards private treaties, those sorts of things. Do you think that's the direction that we might be heading?
Too early to tell. That may be something that happens in the future. I think this weekend prior to school holidays will be the test. And again, it's just a matter of adapting, making sure that the buyers that do want to buy can buy, the sellers that do want to sell can still sell.
I know you don't have a crystal ball, but the market has been holding up quite well at the moment. How do you think it's going to go over the coming weeks and months?
Your guess will be as good as mine. I think, given we're on the verge of a holiday or a school holiday period, I think calmer heads should prevail, and people will come out at the end of April, and we'll know a lot more then.
How have people been reacting, I suppose, with the open for inspections? Have they been wanting to keep their distance? Yeah,
look, some people are. Certainly people are more aware of it, which is a good thing. It makes our job a little bit easier, and understanding is probably all we ask.
Now, you do have this property that's going under the hammer at 10:30 today. How do you think it's going to go in the current climate?
In the current climate, look, we've got interest. There has been a couple of people that will certainly be here and sit and watch. So I'll be able to answer that question in half an hour.
Looking forward, what will you do if there is a drop-off in the market? How will you adapt to that situation?
Similar to what we had to go through sort of 2 years ago, and in the 2008-2009 global financial crisis, people will simply hang on to it. If they're not ready to sell, they'll sit and wait. There will be buyers that change jobs, relocate. Simply the house becomes too small. So there will certainly still be home selling.
What are people telling you at the moment? Do they want to sell?
Yeah, look, a lot of people have. The market's improved. Up until recent times, the market has certainly improved in the last 12 months. So yeah, people are still thinking about it, wanting to do it. It's just maybe a matter of changing the process slightly.
Do you think we can see a bounce back? I mean, we haven't seen any results at the moment, but properties like these are very tightly held. Do you think the market will bounce back?
The current owners have been here sort of 17 years, so if you're wanting something in a price spot in Mailing Road, close to the shopping precinct with a shop front, there's not too many opportunities where you can get it, and you don't want to wait another 15 years.
Well, it's interesting times ahead. We've just jumped in the car and driven 20 minutes across the city. We were at another auction. Now we're here at an auction in Paran for this beautiful 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom property. It is about to go under the hammer in just a moment's notice, and you can see the crowds are starting to gather here this morning. Now, instead of holding the auction at the property, in this age of social distancing, this is what's going to happen. Everyone's sort of moved out here across the street to a park, so everyone can sort of stay that 1.5 metre distance between each other during the auction. And to talk a little bit more about the auction, I'm joined by real estate agent Andrew Smith. Andrew, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Dougal.
Can you walk us through how's this auction going to play out in this age of social distancing?
Well, we're lucky to be opposite a park. That certainly helps, but we're about 10 minutes away from the auction now. It looks like we've got a fair crowd. We've had a fair bit of inquiry here, so we'll soon find out. But we are lucky to be opposite a park, so we will be promoting social distancing as educated by our Prime Minister. So I think we'll be fine here today.
How have you implemented these sort of changes to your routines with social distancing now in place?
Well, we've got a sign on the front door. We've asked people if they've been away overseas, they not come into the house. We've got hand wipes and sanitisers, and we ask people just to stay away from each other while walking through the property.
There's a lot of auctions this weekend in Melbourne. Do you think this will be a real test for the market to see where it's at?
Yeah, I think of course it will be. It is also the last Saturday before the school holidays, so it would have been the last big Saturday prior to about a 4-week break. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend. For this house here, we've got about 3 people interested. In about 5 minutes, 10 minutes time, we'll certainly find out how it's all going.
And buyers and sellers in this sort of age where we don't know what's happening in the future, what are they sort of saying to you at the moment anyway?
Well, look, people need to live somewhere. And obviously in times of uncertainty, people do turn to the safety of bricks and mortar. The share market's a bit volatile at the moment, so I think when a push comes to shove, people need to put their money somewhere, and bricks and mortar, especially in the Stonington area, is a pretty safe bet for the long term.
Do you think you might be changing your approach to selling homes now? Will we see more auctions or will we go to more private sales? What do you think?
I think, as I said to Chris yesterday, I think we're doing more one-on-one inspections, and perhaps our campaigns will be a bit longer, instead of 4 weeks, perhaps 6 weeks. And I suppose the other thing is we may be doing more private sales rather than auctions. So we've got to adapt to the times. It's a changing times day by day, and as long as people want to buy properties, we'll still be opening them.
Time is ticking down to the auction. Best of luck for today, Andrew. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Dougal. Cheers.
And Chris, we'll throw it back to you.
Thanks very much, Dougal, our auction chaser of the day. Good luck to Andrew out there with the sale. Alice, what do you think? I mean, it's logistically quite difficult to do an auction at the moment if you have to stand so far apart. I mean, things are really hard.
This is such a great snapshot of what is happening all around the country at the moment, and I'm sort of really looking forward to seeing at the end of day today, end of play today, how it has actually played out. You know, we have an idea of the sentiment out there, but the proof will be in the taste of the pudding this evening, looking at the clearance rates. I think also, you know, maybe it's time to bring back the old phoning bids in. You know, people using buyers advocates who obviously have technology to liaise with agents also. We're going to have to do things very differently, and Andrew referenced there, maybe there will be more private sales of auctions. But I think the industry is going to be really forced to change how we look at this. I mean, that was fantastic. To be in the park today, you're not going to have a problem. But what happens on a drizzly day in the middle of winter in a small inner city terrace?